Hello students, this is Tyrone Mendonça from Pillai Coaching Classes. We are going to do the poem Rain on the Roof from our textbook Beehive. When the sky is covered with dark clouds and it starts raining, have you ever listened to the patter of soft rain on the roof? What thoughts flashed through your mind as you heard this melody of nature? Read the poem to find out what the poet dreamt of while listening to the rain. So, according to the title is very clear. The poet is talking about rain on the roof. We can make out that the poem is about rain. The poet is telling us about the memories he has of the rain. The sound of raindrops falling on the roof of his house bring back sweet memories of the past. When can we hear the pitter patter of the rain? What type of roof should we have to hear the pitter patter of the rain? The pitter patter of the rain is more clear when we have tiled roofs, as we call in Hindi kavelu. Either tiled roofs or tin roofs, or if we have asbestos sheets. The raindrops, the sound of the raindrops are more clearly audible in these conditions. So I believe that the poet might be living in a house which had tiled roofs, kaveli wala makan. Let's go deeper into the poem and study about the poem in depth. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry sphere, what does the word hover mean? Hover means if you have seen a kite flying, or if you've seen an eagle moving round and round and round and round in the sky, that is known as hovering. When the humid shadow hover over all the starry sphere and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. The word humid, the meanings. Let's go into the meanings of the word which we have come across. The word humid, something which is full of moisture. So the word humid refers to something that has moisture. Shadow refers to the moisture laden clouds. The clouds have whitish or greyish color, very much like the shadow of a person. So your shadows refer to the moisture laden clouds which cast a shadow on the earth. Hover, to move around something. Melancholy means sad. Bliss means happiness. Patter is the sound of raindrops falling on the roof. And cottage chamber here means bedroom. The poet is saying that when the humid shadows hover, here humid shadows refer to what? The dark clouds which are full of water. The poet is saying that when the humid shadow hovers, the poet is saying that when the sky is full of these clouds which are moisture laden and full of water and are about to bring rain, when such clouds hover around in the sky over all the starry spheres. Starry spheres refers to the sky at night when the sky is full of stars. At that time, huge clouds which are full of moisture move around in the sky, and the sad darkness of the night is wiped off by the raindrops which seems like tears falling from the sky. The poet is referring to the raindrops as tears. The poet says that the dark sky, which seems to be very sad, it appears as if it is crying, and the raindrops, the tears, shed by. He adds that it is like a blessing to lie on the bed in his room the cottage chamber, which means bedroom, and listen to the sound made by the raindrops falling on the roof. Second stanza. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollections weave the air threads into woof, as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. Again, let's go to the meaning of the words. There are some new words which are being introduced here to you all. For example, tinkle. Tinkle is the short, light, ringing sound like the tinkling of a bell. Shingles are the rectangular wooden tiles used on roof. Shingles. And echo is a repeated sound. In Hindi we call it goonj. Then woof. Woof is weft, that is the thread woven across the loom. जो हाथ से बूनते हैं ना, धागा जो बुनकर जो बूनते हैं उसको वेफ्ट कहते हैं या वूफ कहते हैं. Woof is the thread woven across the loom. Patter is the sound of the raindrop falling on the roof. Busy being, here the poet refers to human beings. Actually he is referring to himself, busy being, as a busy person. The poet is expressing his feelings when he hears the raindrops falling on the roof of his house. He says that every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in his heart. Every drop of rain that makes a tinkling sound on the shingles the tiles, the wooden tiles on the roof, it creates an echo in his heart. It creates a revibrating sound in his heart. Whenever he hears rain falling on the rooftop, the sound repeats in his heart and in his dreams. He has many different fanciful imaginations. He adds that this sound of the rain falling on the rooftop creates many new different dreams in his mind. He recollects many memories of the past which come back into his mind as dreams. So he says that as he listens to the patter of the rain upon the roof, he has many new dreams in his mind, and the memories of the past come back in the form of dreams. Stanza 3. Now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone, to regard the darling dreamers before she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel a fond look on me as I listen to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. Again, let's go to the hard words. ERE. ERE is before, old poetic word which was used for before. They used to make it short. BEFORE. Instead of BEFORE, they write ERE. That is, that it means before and is pronounced also as before. Dawn is the time before the sun rises. The daybreak, when the day breaks and there's some light into the sky before the sun can actually rise. That period of the rising sun, before the sun has actually risen, is called dawn. List is an old poetic word for listen. Again, a short form for listen. Refrain actually is a repeated part of a song or a poem. Here in this poem, the word refrain refers to the sound of the rain. The sound of the rain is acting as a music that is added in the form of a refrain to the poem. Now let's go for the explanation. Here the poet introduces his mother. He says that he is dreaming of his mother. As he had told in the previous stanza, that rain brings memories of the past. It is this memory of his mother who is no longer alive. In the past, she used to love him a lot. She used to consider him a darling, and she would let him sleep till daybreak and have sweet dreams. The poet can still feel that his mother is looking at him as he listens to the song made by the rain, by the raindrops falling on the rooftop of his room. The sound of the rain makes him correlate his past with his present. That is why the poet is moved by the sound of the raindrops on the shingles of his room. Whenever he hears this sound, it brings back memories of the past and he is reminded of his mother. Now let's pick up some literary device from the poem. Let's start with the rhyming scheme. The rhyming scheme of the poem is A B C B D E F E. A B C B D E F E. A B because hover does not rhyme with sphere and sphere does not rhyme with darkness. But spheres rhymes with tears. So therefore A B C B. The first line is when the humid shadow hovers. So we consider this as A. The last word hover is A. Over all the starry spheres. Since hovers and spheres do not rhyme, we'll take spheres as B. Third line, and the melancholy darkness. The word darkness neither rhymes with hover, neither does it rhyme with spheres. So we take this as C. And the fourth line, gently weeps in rainy tears. Now tears is rhyming with spheres. So A, B and C, and the fourth line will be B because it is rhyming with spheres. So in this way we pick up the rhyming scheme. So the rhyming scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. Okay, so let's pick up some figure of speech. Stanza 1. Stanza 1, we have alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. If the word are repeated, for example, humid and hover, the sound of H is being repeated. So we say that humid and hover is an alliteration. Starry and spheres, the sound S is repeated. Press and pillow, the sound P is repeating. Lie and listening, the letter sound L is repeating. So this is the alliteration. When the sound repeats, when an alphabetical sound repeats in a line, so we say that it's a alliteration. The another figure of speech given here in the first stanza is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the figure of speech which describes sound. It brings out the sound. It creates a dramatic effect and an auditory imagery. That is, you are made to listen to it. So the other figure of speech is onomatopoeia when we say the word patter. So patter is the use of sound to describe the falling of a rain and creating a sound made by the raindrops falling on the rooftop. Then the third figure of speech here is personification. Personification means treating a non-living thing as a living being. Darkness has been personified when he says that it is sad. The quality of sadness is given to darkness. So it's a human quality. Human beings feel sad. So here the darkness has been described as being sad. So a human quality has been given to darkness. So the third figure of speech is personification. The fourth figure of speech is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet. Epithet is actually meanings and adjectives. The adjective is when adjective shifts to a noun or when a noun shifts to an adjective, it is called as a transferred epithet. The use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun. For example, in melancholy darkness, the darkness is not melancholy, but it refers to the sad people. So this is known as the transferred epithet. So these are the four figure of speech that we can pick out in the first stanza. And in the second stanza also we have alliteration. When the word busy being, the sound of B is repeated, their thread TH is repeated, rain and roof, again R sound is repeating. Again we have onomatopoeia, the sound words create again tinkle and patter, the sound that raindrops are making, that is onomatopoeia. And again we have personification, that is recollecting the past. Okay, Recollection is personified when he says that they weave dreams, weaving of dreams. The poet says that the यानी ख्वाब बुनना नहीं, क्या ख्वाब बुनना, यानी जैसे कि स्वप्न को इंसान का रूप दे दिया गया है. सो ड्रीम्स आर वीविंग. सो हियर वीविंग ड्रीम्स is a personification. Again we have transfer epithet, the use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun. Dreamy fancies. Dreamy fancies does not actually mean that the fancies are dreamy, but it refers to the people who have dreams. So the second stanza also has the same figure of speeches as we had in the first stanza. The third stanza, again there's a repetition of consonant sound. Again we have alliteration. In memory, my mother, sound is repeated. Then darling dreamers, the sound D is repeating. Again we have onomatopoeia, the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect of, that is, patter. The sound of raindrops is falling on the roof. So here also we have the same type of a figure of speech. Now let me give you a brief summary of the poem. The poem Rain on the Roof talks about the poet's varied reaction to the sound of raindrops falling on the roof of his house. He says that the raindrops at night are like tears shed by the sad, dark night. He loves to lie in bed and hear rain falling on the roof of his room because it gets back sweet memories of the past. He says that the sound of raindrops help him fall asleep and gives him sweet dreams. He has memories of his loving mother who would put him to sleep. So in short, it's a very beautiful poem of a poet who is very attached to his mother, and the season of rainfall brings back memories of his mother, bring back fond memories of his mother. The poet seems to be a lover of nature, and also he seems to be deeply attached to his mother. So Rain on the Roof by Coates Kenny is a beautiful poem. I hope I have made the poem very clear to you. I'll be putting up some questions and I expect you all to answer them. This is Tyrone Mendonca from Pillai Coaching Class, signing off for today.